It's time for the fun and games to begin, isn't it, everyone? Time for the games to commence, because Invictus is here. And you've been asking me for my critique regarding Harry and Meghan's fashion style during their debut appearance in the Netherlands yesterday. Photographs have already emerged of the pair today, at the first official day of the Invictus Games. So we're going to discuss that and the wardrobe choices for that as well today. So I'm going to be giving you that in a moment, but first of all I want to set the tone for this video. This is a week for the Invictus Games, as we know, and it's such a brilliant cause. It really is. You know, putting aside any concerns some of us might have about Archewell's involvement and all the merching, it really is something to be proud of in Harry's history. So, taking inspiration from Her Majesty, I want to set the tone for all of my videos during this Invictus week, which is to come with fresh eyes, a fresh perspective, give the benefit of the doubt where needed. As you know from my last video, I'm not afraid to rant and rave when the need arises, but I shall be looking at the pros and cons, just as I do with any other member of the royal family. You know, I mean, it was only last week when I said I thought Catherine's dress at the memorial last week was boring. I didn't like it. I thought it was dowdy. And most of you disagreed, as I knew you would, and that's absolutely fine. But, you know, I'll look at the pros and cons of everybody. Those I don't like and those that I do. So, you know, I just wanted to make that clear from the start. And also let you know about Invictus, for those that don't know. Invictus means unconquered and undefeated in Latin. And there's a poem by the amputee William Ernest Henley from 1875 called Invictus, which I'll be reading in a moment. And that captures the spirit of the event. In the poem, he expresses his battle with ill health. It's also rumoured to be Nelson Mandela's favourite poem, so it's inspiring for everybody. The event itself is Paralympic in style, and there are events for wounded, veterans, servicemen and women. There are 500 competitors over 20 countries, and it's meant to inspire recovery, support, rehabilitation, and generate respect for wounded, injured and sick servicemen and women. So it's such a special cause, it really is. And also it's exciting to watch as well. Out of the night that covers me, black as the pit from pole to pole, I thank whatever gods may be for my unconquerable soul. In the fell clutch of circumstance, I have not winced nor cried aloud. Under the bludgeonings of chance, my head is bloody but unbowed. Beyond this place of wrath and tears looms but the horror of the shade. And yet the menace of the years finds and shall find me unafraid. It matters not how strait the gate, how charged with punishments the scroll. I am the master of my fate. I am the captain of my soul. Now let's get on to the fashion critique. I mean, there's not much to say about Prince Harry. He looked the same as he always does. Why he lets his hair grow like that, I don't know. The buzz cut, the shorter style, suits him much more. So I don't know why this dandelion effect is there. But, you know, he looks a little more relaxed than usual, which is nice. What else nice can I say about him? You see, I'm really trying to be fair. He looks fine. He's still always touching his tummy all the time. So we have to have sympathy with him because he is just a very nervous character. He's got this nervous disposition, whether he thinks he's under attack, and has anxiety problems. And I say this in all seriousness. I have close family members who have suffered greatly with anxiety and sometimes do the same sort of movement on the tummy. And, you know, anxiety is a real issue for many people, and it's actually quite crippling. So if he is under that kind of strain, one can only have sympathy for him. But yeah, it's his usual get-up. He looks slovenly in a suit. He just looks slovenly. I don't know why. I don't know if it's the tailoring, the choice of makeup. I wish it'd just crisp up a bit, you know, sharpen up a bit. But I don't know why it clings to his frame in that way. But he's got that. He's got the beads on his hand as usual. Not to my taste, but I'm sure they are to many hippies. So that's Meghan done. No, that's Harry done. Now on to Meghan. She wore a Valentino number. It's cut from wool crepe with pin-tucked creases down wide legs. The jacket's tailored, or supposed to be tailored, with sharp notch lapels. So let's begin with what I liked about this ensemble. I like the colour on her. White, it's glamorous, especially in high summer. I did feel that this outfit would have worked better in high summer. I'm talking for the European climate, July, August, hot, high summer. I think the white and gold palette is really nice. I think it suits her skin tone. I've always really loved her skin tone. And I like that palette of the three, the gold, the white, and the black hair, the kind of dark brown black hair. I think it's a lovely palette. Would have been really delicious in high summer, I think. So not quite... I would have chosen a different colour for spring, but fresh is always good. The gems and the jewellery I did not have a problem with. I actually thought they were quite nice. Gold is good. The Diana's watch, she was wearing Diana's Cartier tank watch, wasn't she? Which is a classic, and that's always going to look lovely. I didn't care for the hand adornment, no. The hand thing that she had on, what's it called? A kitten mitten. Apparently. Kitten mitten, little pussy glove. That wasn't to my taste. I thought it looked tacky as hell. It's the kind of thing 14-year-old girls get out of a cracker, a Christmas cracker or something. I didn't like that, but maybe it was part of a brand deal because they mentioned that the brand that rustles up these things could have been part of that. I don't know. But is there really any need for that kind of thing? And also, she doesn't have the most elegant hands, does she, to go with it? But on the good side, I did really like the rose gold nail varnish. I thought that went really well with the colours. So that was lovely, Meghan. Really nice. Nice nail varnish. The makeup was great. I liked it. I didn't have a problem with it at all. Her makeup artist, Daniel Martin, faithful D. Martin. Oh, he had a boon where that ship came in when he met old Meghan, didn't he? Because they get paid a lot, as well as the trips all around the world, to have that permanent makeup artist there. That was a great payday boon for him, and she trusts him implicitly, and he does do a really good job. I usually really love Meghan's makeup. It's not often when I don't. Sometimes I think she overdoes it. If I was mega critical, I don't see really why she needs a professional makeup artist for this kind of thing. Why do they have to glam it all up as if it's a great big Hollywood affair all the time with personal makeup artists? She's got a nice complexion, she's got good features. This is what I find a little bit distasteful. I think she goes a little bit over the top. She doesn't have to be so insecure that she has this great team. She can look nice just with, a little bit of mascara, tie her hair back in a bun. I don't know really why she's dressing up like she's off to the Oscars, but, fair enough. A few good points. So, cons. The whole thing swamps her, doesn't it? I don't know what's going on with the cut. I don't know. Because these are fantastic designers, Valentino, and she'll have them personally tailored to her, and yet, and this isn't the gal's fault, but they seem to be cut to sort of highlight the undesirable parts rather than the great attributes that she has, I know they divide women into shapes, don't they? Pear-shaped, apple-shaped, hourglass. I'm trying to think of other fruits, but I would imagine she falls under the apple. I'm not sure, but everything seems to accentuate the middle. And I don't know, there's no need for that. It could have nipped in a bit more at the waist. I really think it could have done. It seemed to swamp her. Lacked any definition to the silhouette in my mind, especially when she's in movement. I've said it before with clothes of hers and Harry's. It looks a bit like sheets swinging back and forth on a washing line in the breeze in the backyard, so it's awkward from various angles. That's what I found. Obviously, she loves these sort of flared style pants, which I really like as well. It's a lovely retro vibe, and I do think it kind of suits her. I was disappointed she paired it with white stilettos, though. They seemed to flap about her ankles, and I saw on the model it looked better if you go for that full 70s vibe, and maybe sport some platform heels. I think that would have been great. It would also help her look not quite so diminutive. You're in a nation with some of the with some tall people in the Netherlands. It's known for tall people, And so it might have been nice to put that nonsense on stilts, if you know what I mean. The handbag I was disappointed in. I did not think it was the right shade to match the outfit, to go with the white, because it sort of clashed with the white. This sort of beigey, creamy thing clashed with it. I'd like to know your opinions though, because I couldn't make up my mind what could have gone with it, because she walked in with a Max Mara camel coat on her. So I thought maybe she could have matched the accessories to the coat rather than try to match it with that white look. It's difficult to go with all white, but maybe she should have done more nude shoes, a nude bag to match the camel coat. Maybe that could have worked, but do you think she was right to go with white all the way down to the shoes? I couldn't make up my mind what colour that handbag should have been. So let me know. I think it's such a shame with the hair, because she put so much effort into that hair, when I feel that it would just look less contrived if she just had a more natural style, let her curls go. I'm not sure what her natural curls are like now. Maybe they are too unruly, or I don't know why she feels it looks like they've been steam pressed though, doesn't it, in a Chinese laundry or something. It looks like the hair's been shipped in and steam pressed. You can see the work that's gone into it, But, there are worse hairdos out there. It's fine. It's fine. It's just not really to my taste. There's too much of those tresses. It's fine if you're a Kardashian, but a charity worker, I don't know. When you go with all white, sometimes it can look like you're trying to project a messianical kind of image. You know what I mean? So it's good to break up the colour with other little colourways here and there, I feel. Of course it's come to me. She should have matched those accessories with the jewellery, white and gold. Do you know what I mean? Just a sort of pale gold, maybe feature on the shoe, and a pale gold handbag. Match it with the jewellery, of course, and she would have kept within that palette of the dark hair, the sort of, let's call it black, brown, black, gold and white. There you have it, you see. There was a touching moment where she comforted Harry. She was really playing that darling role of Mama Meg. Mama. She comforted Harry. That was actually a touching moment, because you'll see these chaps and ladies enter and parade in for proceedings, and you can't help but be moved. These are people that have put their lives on the line for us. I thank the divine for these folk every single day. I truly do. I truly mean that. It's one reason why this whole thing is uplifting and quite thrilling, actually, these events. It is the stuff that humanity is made of, And there was a nice moment where Meggie, she handed her Max Mara coat to cover the baby of a competitor's wife. So I'm not going to be too cynical today. I thought that was a lovely gesture, not done as a PR stunt at all. I thought it was a gentle gesture. And of course, it was only 2 weeks ago, or was it just a week ago, when we saw Prince Charles do exactly the same thing to somebody on the set of EastEnders, an actress. Oh yes, it was Letitia Dean, wasn't it? Letitia Dean. Yes, he did that just 1 or 2 weeks ago. So nice to see the inspiration there.
You've got your coat on. Very wise. Yes, I would love that coat. Very nice.
Meghan dressed down a bit today. She was in a dark box jacket, blue jeans, and her pumps. Harry wore a black t-shirt and chinos. Oh God, she's going to be doing a reading of her children's picture book. The stench. Oh, I'm supposed to be being nice today, aren't I? She's going to put those kids through a reading of her book. Seriously, those poor traumatised children, is there really any need to torture them? This is by far my favourite of the two looks on Meghan. The jeans are nice. I love the jacket or blazer affair with the gold buttons. Really nice and classy. It does put me in mind a little of Princess Diana, but perhaps that's unfair because Princess Diana wore a lot of ensemble. It's hard not to find inspiration or accidentally copy, who knows. But I like that. I like the handbag. I love the ponytail. I love the updo. That is so much nicer to me. I mean, I'm sure they made as much effort slicking all of that back as they did with yesterday's blow dry or whatever it was, but to me that is much more charming. You haven't got all those tresses flopping around her face getting in the way, And, it makes you feel more at ease when you look at her with that, rather than the Medusa look. The makeup is divine. I love the little pinky lips with that beautiful skin. I love the freckles. I love the black on the eyes, the eyeliner and the lashes, the eyebrows. That is just the kind of look that is my cup of tea, I've got to tell you. Nice, Meghan. Nice. Oh, I've just seen the bottom half. What's this flower pot affair going on with the jeans, the turn-ups? Let me see this, the pumps. See, they're nice pumps. And I thought those jeans were going to be splendid. For my taste, no. I mean, not horrific. For my taste, no. I don't like those ankles on display there. Oh, she nearly had me. They would have been so nice if they just tapered in at the bottom, but that breaks up the silhouette. Maybe I'm being too grumpy. It is a spring look, I suppose. Clasping onto hubby's arm, isn't she there? Clasping onto hubby. That's sweet. Nice choice of little handbag there, quite discreet. OK Magazine claims Meghan Markle looks effortlessly cool as she attends Invictus Games with Prince Harry. Well, I love the look, but I wouldn't call that effortlessly cool. That's probably 2-3 hours of work gone into that with the professional makeup artist and hairdo. I wouldn't say effortlessly. But yeah, I did think that she looked quite cool, is not the word, but certainly acceptable. Of course, they took the chance to pose with the head of the United States delegation, Pete Buttigieg. He was there. To be fair, I'm not a great fan of his, but he served in Afghanistan. He did his time there as a naval intelligence officer. He attended with his husband, Chester. Chaston. What kind of a name is Chaston? Do you think he was born with that name? Pete and Chaston. I've got to say, I find it quite embarrassing seeing this Netflix crew scurrying about behind them all over the place, because they put them in special bibs to differentiate them from the rest of the press. So they have these coloured bibs, poor things. Must feel like inmates with numbers on. Must be for the security details so they know what's going on, but I think it's rather humiliating for them. Do you know what I mean? Just number them like sort of bovine creatures. I find that a little hard to stomach, but the money's coming in, so there we go. Got Netflix following them around. Bit more gossip about the meeting with Queenie a couple of days ago at Windsor Castle. The press have been coming out with all kind of ruminations. But I got to say, first of all, you've got to learn to separate the wheat from the chaff with some of these media reports. Some of them do have great sources, some of them don't. The Daily Express will just tell you absolutely anything, for example. I will never, ever read a single anecdote from that newspaper. There's just nothing. Nothing of substance. I can't understand who would read that. But in this instance, nobody knows what was said within those 4 walls of the castle, or 1 wall if it was a round room. Nobody knows, unless, you're going to tell me that there were spy cams hidden in the foliage, microfilm hidden in the hydrangeas. It makes my teeth itch when I read things. What was this? This was, the Daily Mirror said that they told the Queen that she will get to hug Lilibet in the near future. This is apparently told to the Daily Mirror from a source. What source? Prince Charles? The Queen? Come on. Don't pee on my leg and tell me it's raining, Daily Mirror. They don't need to come up with this kind of nonsense. Nobody knows what was the actual words that were uttered in that rendezvous, apart from the rendezvousists, my dear. The Daily Mirror also claimed that it was Harry that reached out to organise the whole affair. They also say that he was the one that reached out to Charles, and that contradicts what the Daily Mail said, which I'll tell you in a moment. So it's a lot of people just guessing here. He reached out to organise. Sources apparently said it was an incredibly warm and good-natured meeting, and Harry made the approach to Charles, who was happy and accepted. But the Daily Mail said that there were strings attached, that Harry had wanted to meet with the Queen, but she has her own red lines, as they put it, and she said that he would have to meet with Prince Charles first and then the Queen. And they're all saying that it was a 15-minute meeting. A quick in and out, my dears. That's longer than most men, isn't it, ladies? It lasted 15 minutes, started at 10 o'clock. Some people say that a coach trip to Windsor Castle spied them across the way and they gave a nice wave. But I would have thought we would have seen some photos snatched if that was the case, but we didn't, as far as I'm aware. They say that Charles was present with the Queen. They had a sort of cordial chat, and then Camilla joined them halfway through. Chatty. How awkward the whole thing must have been. Then Camilla and Charles left to go to St George's Chapel. I think it was the Maundy Day service they had to attend on that day. And then the Queen and Harry moved to the Queen's private apartment, where proceedings were a lot less edgy. And as I told you what my suspicions were in the last video, I said I think the Queen will be nothing less than just cordial with them. That seems to be what the press is saying, that she was cordial. And I can imagine that it just would have been that kind of, sort of animated jollity of small talk of people that haven't seen each other for a while. And it would have been talk about, oh, we're so sad you haven't seen the baby yet. And, oh, yes, that's interesting. Oh, how nice. Yes, I would have loved to. We'll have to do that one time. You know, it would have been that kind of small talk, I'm sure. The Queen doesn't do confrontation, dears. She doesn't do confrontation. And she does get criticised for that sometimes. Especially, I've noticed from our friends in America. Sometimes they might have a good point, but you have to look at the body of work of her reign, her time, in over 70 years. Her style has served her well. Whatever happens in the future, her style has served her very well. She remains the most popular person in the whole world, I think. I can't really think of someone who's more widely known, more widely loved and more popular, can you? And consider that's over such an epic amount of time as well, that popularity's been sustained. Incredible. But the two big questions hanging over this meeting are how they are going to go forward, because the two obstacle blocks, in order of appearance, are the Jubilee. What to be done about the Jubilee? A platinum Jubilee without Prince Harry, who's been famed as a grandson of the Queen. Famed as her grandson all his life. Secondly, the imminent memoir. I think I heard that's been pushed back now, hasn't it? From autumn to late fall, or coming up for winter, maybe the Christmas market, who knows? Which will be a huge success. Whenever I say that, I get people saying, no one will read it. It's going to be a huge success, my dear. They have a fabulous writer. They have a fabulous story. Royalty captures the imagination. It doesn't matter how unpopular you think he is. He's got plenty of fans as well. And those who are not such great fans of him will buy this tome as well. So, this is going to be huge. And heaven knows what's going to be in it, my dears. And this is Charles's great dilemma. Unless he's asked Harry, or is going to ask, what the hell are you putting in it? They don't know unless they've been told what's in it. They don't know what can be trusted and what can't. So they could invite them along to the Platinum Jubilee, as the Queen probably has. She's got so much goodwill. I don't know if they'd involve them in proceedings. I desperately hope that they don't get any kind of balcony view or access to the balcony or any official photograph. I desperately hope that, because they're not working royals. That's the only reason. And they made their move away. But if that happens, they're involved in it, then the book comes out trashing half the family in an oh-so-subtle way. I mean, I think that would be so devastating for Charles, because he would feel used and abused in that way. So at this point, all we can do is speculate, can't we? All we can do is speculate. What's going to be in the memoir? For the likes of Charles and Camilla and other senior members of the royal family, who might all hold to the view that the Sussexes' recollections may vary, and not everything that they come out with as the truth is the truth, for them it must be pretty scary and must feel a bit like, I'm not using the word saying that it is blackmail, but it must feel like blackmail, because they have to sort of anticipate without knowing what's coming round the corner, don't they? Because that's what happened with the Oprah interview, except they were sort of taken by surprise there and assassinated symbolically on television without much warning. So they don't know what's going to be coming out and what control they can have over the narrative, do they? So it must be very tough for them, a conundrum, to make decisions regarding the involvement of Harry and the Harkles in the family. Just impossible situations. It said that they stayed at Frogmore Cottage, their old stomping ground, which they didn't really care much for. It said that they stopped there on the Wednesday night beforehand. I did wonder to myself if they might stop off on the way back again, on the return flight. So who knows? It seems very much that they want to keep any of those kind of plans under wraps until after it happens, and I approve of that, and I actually applaud them for it. We don't need to know. And the other question is, did the Cambridges know? All the papers are saying that this visit was in the works and in the making for some time. It wasn't just sprung there. So who booked first? Was the meeting booked, or was the Cambridges' holiday, their skiing holiday in Courchevel, booked? Would be so interesting to know, wouldn't it, if they made a bum steer, if they wanted to make sure that they dodged that meeting, because all the whispers are that William remains furious, and they're saying he actually finds it a headache and gets a physical headache. This is what some of the rags were saying yesterday when the subject of Harry is mentioned. When you turn to the subject of Harry, it's a horse of a difference of Harry. There are many critics now that are accusing the couple of cashing in on the games by allowing Netflix into private meetings. Some have even been saying that the Netflix crew, that this meeting with the Queen was engineered to reflect well on them, and that Netflix producers had asked them to make it happen. Now, I do find that a bit of a stretch, I've got to tell you, but who knows, because Netflix have paid them a hell of a lot longer, and they want their buck's worth, don't they? So, interesting rumours, but I don't know. Thank you for spending your time with me. I hope you enjoyed the little chinwag. I'll try and come back with another one as soon as I can, my dears, I really will. Have a lovely evening, won't you? Do let me know what you thought about Meghan's fashion choices, because it's always fun to discuss, isn't it? The pros and the cons. And let's try and keep with a royal spirit during this Invictus weekend. And thank you, everybody. My tip jar can be found in the description box below if you'd like to treat me to a cup of coffee or an Easter bunny. I always feel quite mean biting off their ears. You know what I mean? But you've got to do it, haven't you? You've got to get chomping on that chocky. But I will speak to you all soon, everybody. Lots of love.